If you want to get ahead of, whoa, hello. If you want to get ahead of the curve, go ahead and go to ibm.cloud and sign up. We're going to give you a promo code so you'll be able to do the stuff for free. And then also, if you want to pull down that GitHub URL, that is the actual working doc that we're going to be going through, or exercises. My main goal, and I'll say this again when we first start, because I think we still got another 10, 20 minutes, is I want you all to come out of this workshop with something tangible and you feel like you've learned. My philosophy, and I'll say this again, is I know this stuff is hard, and instead of spending 3 weeks of your life trying to figure this thing out by yourself, we're going to come together, do this in a very short amount of time, hit all the major high points so you're at least dangerous when you get back home. Hopefully that's good. Oh, by the way, I use a lot of profanity. I don't even know I do, so if you have problems with that, I apologize ahead of time. And I'll say that again here in a couple minutes. Thank you.
Check, check.
Okay, okay, good. Hey, so I made a mistake. Don't go to that original URL I sent. Go to that URL. That's a better URL. It has cooler things. You should probably go. It's a joke, people. People giggle. Come on. So go to that URL, click on that, or if you did go to the old URL, how about you click on that URL anyway? That'd be kind of cool too. It's our tracking URL to make sure that we're doing our jobs. So I'll be honest. I mean, I have no reason to lie. That's how I can actually come and do more of these things. And if you like it, I can do more of them. Yeah? No? Okay. I like it. Thank you. I'm looking for feedback. I want conversation. I want to have fun. Because if you can't have fun doing this stuff, why do it, right? I like it. Thank you. Hi, everybody. So about a minute early. I hope that's okay by y'all. Okay, so we've identified a few things already. First of all, my name is JJ. That is my name. And that's my contact information. If you haven't gone to the first URL, which you should have gotten on a sheet by some of my lovely assistants, please go to that URL, try to sign up. We've identified a problem already, and you might have an issue there. Please raise your hand or get someone who's in an IBM t-shirt to be like, WTF. Then we can start working on that a little bit more. There's the GitHub URL. And yes, we're going to have some fun today. I acknowledge this is not the best room for a workshop. I'm sorry. This is the room they gave us. So we're going to do the best we can with what we got. Also, yes, I realize we all have laptops in front of us, and there's no power. I'm sorry. Life's horrible. Okay, cool. So, this is the actual GitHub repo. And before I start talking, who knows what Istio is? Who knows what Kubernetes is? There we go. That's what I was more expecting. OK, cool. So Istio is an open source project that sits between, or there's collaboration between IBM, GCP, or Google, and Lyft, believe it or not. So if you're not using Lyft, you should probably use Lyft if you are interested in Istio. So let us first go to the workshop exercise 1. Assuming you have been able to log in, you're going to want to do the, unless you're an IBM employee, I know there are some IBM employees in here, go ahead and just do the IBM login and be able to get into the system, which is good. If you haven't gotten there yet, that's fine. We'll work with it. I'm going to go and make sure that the most important portion is you get your Kubernetes cluster up and running. It does take a few minutes to start going, so if you get that done now, then I can start working on the actual presentation to talk about it while it's being built. So, everyone's doing that, yes? I need interaction here, people. I'm just going to otherwise meander around. Yes, hello. They are not working at all. Has anyone gotten a code to work? I'm working on it. OK. Well, let us start with the overview of Istio. How about that? While this is going. The most important picture you will see about Istio is this. I can go into the long spiel about the different portions of it and all, but this is the workshop that we're going to do. We're actually going to use it. We're actually going to play with it to kind of understand the power of it. There are 4 main components, which is Pilot, Mixer, and Citadel. Who thinks they know what Citadel is? Because that one sounds pretty obvious. Anyone? Nothing? Yeah, hello? Yes, it's the security portion of Istio. It's the one that actually has the ability to say yes or no. It is the Citadel, if you will. What do you think Mixer does? I'm assuming the name could give it away. Say again? Policies? That's accurate, yes. It mixes in different systems, so as we go through the sidecar and the way the actual pods start talking to one another, that's where the other portions kind of branch off of. And Pilot is obviously the... No, I do not believe it is a sidecar. It is it's the actual, the controller of the entity, right? It is the pilot, which is nice. Istio has the concept of sidecars, where, as you heard from that gentleman a moment ago, the ability to inject your pod, slap something on the side, and then Istio actually can say yes or no to that traffic. The way I've learned it and the way I actually got it over my head is it is a traffic controller. So who likes to do rolling things in production and not caring about anything? Just YOLO it. Fuck it. Why not? Let's do it, right? I like you. Let's go. No, your boss will never let you do that, right? No, it's not going to happen that way. You need to be able to roll something out with a canary. You need to be able to do a small amount. You can go all the way down to the user agent of the actual web browser and say, hey, only Firefox should have version 2 of my system, or only the user agent for a beta system for your iPhone or whatever. You can go that granular. That is unbelievably powerful, especially with how quick you want to move with your microservices systems. Now, that is how I finally actually clicked in my head. And we will be, as soon as we get our Kubernetes clusters up. I like fucking with them, it's fun. As soon as we do that, we'll actually go and walk through that, which is pretty cool, right? Yes? Okay, cool, I like it. I'm looking for feedback here, people. Do we have hand mics by any chance? If anyone wants to ask any questions or anything like that, or I can have one of my assistants run around, because yes, hello. Yes, you have a question? No? Okay. It's fine. Okay. Again, this was really not a great room for a workshop. I was expecting like a classroom setting. So, yeah, anyway. Okay. So there are, let's see. I'm trying to think of things to talk about before going too deep without actually walking through the material, because it's really hard to walk through the material without actually the concepts. So what should I do? Anything? Yeah. Anything, okay. So, as you can see, the commands are pretty straightforward, but what the most important portion is, hopefully, as we're waiting for our clouds to be a cloud, please curl that URL, and that'll actually pull down Istio for you. It is, as we know, an open source project. And yes, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pipe it through SH. I mean, I realize people don't like, curl bash anymore, curl SH now. But it'll pull it down. It should be 1.02. That is how I validated it multiple times. So if you can verify that and give me a thumbs up when that shows up, it should extract it for you too. And you should actually have all the deployment mechanisms and things like that. Clicky, clicky, typey, 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 type, maybe? Any thumbs up? Nothing? Okay. Yes, hello. Yeah, the promotion codes are having a rough time.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Much slack. Many ops.
Yes, hello. No, this is yes, you can any kube, if you have Minikube running on your local laptop, yes, you can, well, actually, if you're running Minikube, please raise your hand. There's a couple of conversations we need to have. But yes, GKS works just fine. And I've actually tested, should I say this out loud? Why not? So that if you don't know, the version 1.1 is going to come out with an extended mesh. I've actually been able to get the IBM Cloud extended into GKE with an extended mesh of Istio, that's pretty sexy. That's pretty sexy. Cross cloud control service mesh? No, nothing? Okay. Maybe that's just me. So yes, if you have Minikube, if you are running Minikube, kick it up to 4 gigs. Do not do it at the 2 gig if you want to get ahead. Istio and 2 gigs don't really fit together. By fit, I mean it'll basically melt your laptop. Yeah, it's not good. So. If you have access to another Kubernetes instance, if we want to cradle their Wi-Fi here, we could all start pulling down Minikube. I'll wait for Nibs to give me the okay on the final suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a number of development utilities we're going to need. We're going to need the Istio cutoff utility. We're going to need the IBM Cloud CLI utility. I think a lot of that is in the worksheet.
Yeah, feel good.
We're going to need a lot of we're going to need a, is this on?
Yeah.
We're going to need a lot of utilities, right? So you're going to need some kind of an Istio CTL, a Kube CTL, and the IBM Cloud CLI. And all of those are available kind of at these things.
Yep.
Get that stuff set up. I think we're going to have the Kube clusters here in just like a hot minute. So stay with us.
Yes, hello. If you go ahead and, did you get one of these handouts? If you look at that top IBM.biz, if you click on, or do that link for us, that also verifies that we're actually doing our jobs, which is nice. I like being employed. It's fun, you know, making money. I can put dad jokes up on the screen if you want while you guys are typey-typey. I'm good at that. Correct. Past that. Eggy, can you help him? Thank you. So my favorite joke right now is, so I'll just make sure y'all are clear. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Just so y'all are clear, I'm gonna put my glasses on. Yeah. 2 men walked into a bar. Ouch. I got a ton of them. I can do this all day. It's fine. Hey, no, it's good. Computers, man, they're gonna take over the world. Just put a massive for loop down. Oh, what? I got an one. Or I mean, I think that's all right there, right? I think those. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Question? Sure. Agreed. I absolutely agree with you on that. And fighting a good fight over here.
Well, being a public person saying that at a public conference, maybe you can bring that back to
I have. Yeah. I only have so much pull.
I'm also an ex-member, so
Yeah. What would you think of using like a Docker container instead and doing a Docker pull? Would that feel the same, or would you feel like that's a, I'm sorry, say again?
way better because I'm reviewing your script right now, and I'm like, you're just removing random things
Yep.
out of my home directory and
Yep.
installing things that I'd rather have on archives.
Yep. Luckily, I have a feedback form at the end of this that I would love for you to put those thoughts down, then I can actually come back and say, yeah, no. Yeah. I do actually have a Docker container built with all this stuff if you want to pull that too. I wasn't supposed to talk about it though. If this makes you feel any bit better. IBM. Here it is, and you can look at the actual Docker file right there too. Yes.
I think they would have updated that, but that's downloading IBM Cloud Developer Tools. They just want the CLI, which is a 5 megabyte file. He's downloading the developer tools, which is Ruby, Java.
What?
Just
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. That's the problem. That's the problem.
They really just want a 5 megabyte utility.
Okay, where is that utility?
Just search IBM Cloud CLI. It's going to be the first thing.
I didn't know that was two different things. No, that's not it.
There you go. Scroll up. See,
This one?
yeah, click that, and it's going to be in there. See, that's not quite.
Yeah, this brings in everything. And that's kind of the reason why I was going back to the cloud native thing that Lynn suggested. All right, man.
I actually gave this feedback to Lynn, and she changed it. I guess it got reversed.
What the fuck? So if this might be quicker, sir.
It's installing the standalone cloud CLI. It's on the left side. On the left side. And that's a tiny file.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one we want.
I don't have push rights to the repo, so I don't know how to get this out to people.
Yeah. So his account is stuck. Well, that usually just means they need to go smash the account creation email faster. There. just keep pasting that link. Just keep doing it. Just keep pasting that link. All right. Here's the thing. Joanna's got come back. Yeah. Joanna's got a support contact we're gonna do. Somebody's gonna call the 1-800 number and complain a bunch. We're gonna keep Cy, Sean Day in touch while Rob talks to the product team. And I just ran a for loop creating a bunch of
It's amazing. So the cloud URL that we were talking about for the CLI, please go to that bit.ly. It's very long, I know. And this will actually, that's only a 5 meg download now, which is just the binary to be able to talk to it. Our documentation was not updated. I apologize. I will get that resolved.
You can authorize individuals with clusters. They're all called workshop-something. And they're deal teams, okay? These are coming up right now. So we need some kind of a spreadsheet.
Has anyone had a shot with the CLI yet and been able to do anything? Someone actually clicked the link? Yes, hello. It is? Okay, good. Just for shits and giggles, would have been worth to have Ethernet cables, or if everyone's okay with wireless. Would that have been more problems? Honestly. Tethering? Okay. Well, I guess. I respect that too. So, cool. Sure? Sure. We can, there's been people downloading it now, yeah. So, good call. I do. We need to have another conversation. Want to do that while I'm thinking about it. Works for me. I'll come back in a minute. Yep. Thoughts? Billing? Yes. Eggy. I have a gentleman right there. Has everyone been successful with the IBM CLI? Thumbs up, anyone? Got one? It's better than zero. So as they're moving forward, please verify that you have kubectl also in there, kubectl. If you don't have that command, you'll need to get that installed just to make sure that's clear. And then also the Istio set up too. So when you get your beautiful Kubernetes cluster here in a moment, you'll have the tools to be able to talk to it, be able to log in, access it, and also be able to use the Istio cuddle command. Is it CTL or cuddle? Who says what? CTL? I don't know where I got cuddle from, but it came from somewhere. I'm sorry? Hyper cuddle. Okay. What? And as I am showing you this also, you'll notice that there's the Istio demo here. Then hopefully by 1.1, which should be coming out, don't quote me because I don't actually know, but I'm just going to throw a random month out here, December. I don't actually know. It's not going to be used the Istio deployment YAML anymore. It's actually going to be using Helm. Who knows what Helm is? Who likes Helm? Really? Oh, okay. That's surprising. So, yes, hello? Aggie. Right there. Right there. Right. Here's a question. No? Oh, Jesus. So. But yes, Helm, I thought Helm was cool, but whatever. So something's changed on the screen. I got a bunch of these. That one's hard. If anyone gets that, I'll buy him a beer. The otter slide? Other slide? Yeah. I love that one. Everything under control. Element of surprise. Come on. How to summon a demon. Lemon. Assault and battery. Money laundering. Come on. Not even a single giggle. He'll be okay. Cool Pokemon fan base there. Cat's whiskers. Unicorn. It's on a unicycle. You can take that one back to your kids. 21. Nice. I'm a protractor. Hopefully you like those. I'll leave them up. So everyone has Istio installed on their local machine, kubectl, and IBM Cloud, yes? Thumbs up? Perfect. Getting there? Perfect. For sanity's sake, so one of my tricks that I've been doing with Kubernetes recently, just in general to make sure I can actually talk to my Kubernetes cluster when I can, I use kubectl, kubectl, get pods. Make sure you have your connection out there. Make sure that you're actually talking to what you expect to. You're not going to do something you're not supposed to onto your Kubernetes cluster. So, I mean, I know it's obvious, but it's one of those things that it's real fast. It actually gets the information back you need, and check the health of your cluster. Oops. So while we're working this forward, would you want me to just start going through what I expect and kind of show it? I realize more people are getting it and they can catch up behind us and we can kind of just walk through it. I'll talk to you what's actually happening during that time. I realize we've spending a lot of time not doing anything and I feel like that could be valuable. Okay. So, who thinks I actually have Istio installed? Nothing? I thought that was funny. Okay. So if you look here, this is the easiest way to get weird characters in my terminal. As you can see, I don't have Istio actually installed on my remote machine. So what I will do is I will come to this beautiful actually, I'm going to CD repo, workshops, Istio workshop. So as you can see, I have the guestbook app, which is what we're going to be playing around with, and also Istio 102. I'm going to go ahead and do kubectl apply-f Istio install Kubernetes Istio demo. Oops. If I could only actually type. So as you can see, the namespace is created. One of the beautiful things about Istio is that it creates its own namespace, so it doesn't fuck with anything else inside of your Kubernetes cluster. That's really important when you talk to your boss about production, right? You don't want to take down production. That's a bad thing. So it puts it in its own container or its namespace, so you'll be able to verify it. I will run the commands to verify to show you what actually comes out. If you looked at the exercise, there is a list of it there. They are adding more things to the Istio ecosystem, so that list will be different over time, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens. People like adding stuff. As you can see, I'm going out there doing my thing, and we're done. Now we actually have Istio built inside. So back to that original image here, where we have all of our Mixer, Pilot, Citadel, all that stuff, I will prove to you that we have it. Get the service system. I'm actually looking at the services in the Istio namespace, which that is a lot bigger than I want it to be, so let's make that smaller. Oops. I will make it bigger again so people can see. Oops. Ah. There we go. As you can see, we have a relatively close to that same listing inside the exercise. I've installed the ingress gateway, which is probably the most important pod that actually gets, or service gets built inside of it. Anyone want to take a random stab at what you think an ingress gateway would do? Say again? That is correct. It is the main entry point to your Kubernetes cluster that Istio knows to route things through. As you can see, there's a ton of things bound-mounted to it. Most importantly, you'll probably notice these two, because I know we're all web technologists and we all love port 80 and 443. Don't be using port 80. If you're using port 80, you need to go get a beer later because I want to find out why. You should be doing 443. We all need certs. Okay. So one of the things that I actually didn't realize when I was first touching the Istio ecosystem is that there's a lot of things that come along with it, including Prometheus, Jaeger, Service Graph, and some other little neat things. They're all modular. So by default, the demo gives you all these applications to be able to track these things, but you can actually switch things out if you need to. There's a handful of projects out there that switch out like Prometheus for another time series database that's losing on the top of my head, but there are other ways to do this. So if you like that certain flavor of ice cream, go do that thing. It's pretty cool, right? And I will show that here in a moment. Okay. And just to verify again, I can't do things right. There we go, nice and big. kubectl, get pods, and Istio system. As you can see, I'm not going to make it small again because that's just defeat the purpose, but we have all the same pods. So we have the services and the pods. Who wants to give me, just to make sure everyone understands in the class, what is the difference between a service and a pod? Anyone? I'm going to say again? That is correct. The service is the actual way for a pod can talk to the rest of the world. It is the way I think of it is, I'm an old network engineer, it's the Ethernet port, right? It's the Ethernet port for the switch or whatever, to be able to talk out to the world. So when you create a pod, it doesn't actually know about anything until you create a service to allow other things to talk to it. So it opens up a door, make a window, whatever the hell you want to say. If I'm wrong, please tell me, because that's how I understand this stuff. Okay. So, assuming you have your working cluster, this is where we would actually be installing our guestbook application. And I'm going to do that now. As you can see, there's a bunch of deployment YAMLs inside of here. Who's comfortable with reading a deployment YAML and be able to walk us through what it does? Would you come up here and do it? Come on. We got a mic and everything. No, you sure? Oh, come on. Nothing? All right. Well, let's just take it real quick. I had plans, like as you can see, I have a relatively good, I tried to put a script together for this workshop, so I want to hit all these different points. But the deployment YAML is a YAML that allows you to declare a way to deploy things, which is obviously redundant. But the most important thing you need to worry about in most deployment YAMLs is this spec right here for the containers. That's the way you can actually verify and tell what version of the container you need to deploy out into Kubernetes. I realize this is not specifically Istio, but it's still important to know that if you're trying to learn the ecosystem, this is actually where you would manipulate it. As you can see, for whatever reason, we've not done latest. We've done 2.8.23, and we've actually opened up a container port of the Redis server. So if you ever need to manipulate that, that's where you need to go. Which, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning, one day you're going to need to. Right? No? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create all the different services for Redis. So as you can see, we have the Redis master and the Redis slave. If I go to, I'm going to make this small again, because we need to actually see. And I can't type worth a damn. Yep. Why is this not working? Ah. Okay. kubectl, get pods. Who thinks what am I going to see? Redis. Yes, that's right. So once again, Istio puts itself in its own namespace, so it doesn't mess with it. This is just me proving to you that it does it that way. Even by default, it puts it in the Redis Istio system, so this makes sure that it is in its own little entity, so you're not messing with stuff. As you can see, it's 35 seconds. It's out there doing its thing. Okay. So we mentioned the sidecar earlier. This is where the magic of Istio happens. We're going to inject the sidecar of Istio into our guestbook application and be able to allow Istio to say yes or no and manipulate it and get also other information off of it. Imagine it being, I know this is wrong and I'm sorry, but this is how I see it. Imagine it running like a monitoring service or something like that on a VM, where that's the sidecar, if you will. I'm old school. I'm learning this world myself too, because it's constantly changing. But that's how at least I got over the hump in my head. So let's go. As you can see, I'm using the kube inject command. That comes directly from Istio CTL, or Istio Cuttle. Luckily, the developers of Istio have made sure that the Istio Cuttle command is very close to kubectl, which makes life much easier because then it's kind of the same interface, same kind of way to interact with it. I actually went through the help file, and I was like, oh, yeah, they really did, like, almost verbatim do this stuff. You can kind of feel like they want to eventually upstream it, but I don't know if that's in conversations by any standard. But you can see that they really want to make Istio the one-stop shop for this. So if I go ahead and get pods again, kubectl, get pods. As you can see now, we have 3 version 1s of our guestbook. Okay. Now, I am going to deploy the second version. As you can see, we now have 3 pods, version 1 and version 2. I am going to trust y'all, and we are going to put this out on the real internet. Can I trust y'all? No? Okay. Well, I'm an idiot, but I'm going to trust y'all. kubectl, get, I can't type because everyone's watching me. Service. If you wouldn't mind, go to that URL on your beautiful laptops, and you might actually see something. I should have shown you originally that this was not actually there, but that's what happened. Oh, no. You should see, after yelling about it being not, whoa, that's new. That shouldn't be there. Oh, did somebody actually put that in there? Mean people. So as you can see, there is the actual guestbook application. Great, thanks. And this is actual real time. People are actually messing with us, which is great. So we actually have, as you notice up there on the top though, it does say version 2. So we are all just talking to version 2 of it right now. And during the workshop, we would have asked you to move to version 1, then version 2, and then change the amount of going around. All right. I will say thank you for not putting random profanity up there. I've had, people do that before. So one of the pluses of this workshop, because we've been working inside of the IBM cloud, we'd have actually given you the Watson Tone Analyzer to play around with. Does anyone know who that is or what that is? No? Okay. So I was going to just say anyway, the exercise allows you to play around with it, and actually Watson will analyze what or the words that are on the guestbook app. When you go home from here and you have the code, you can play with it if you like, and that works out. Okay, this is where it starts getting fun. So, how many people know what Nagios is? Who actually likes Nagios? All right, I respect you. So everybody knows monitoring is important. Luckily, Istio has a built-in telemetry metric system that allows you to see what's going on inside of your full stack application. This comes with Grafana, comes with Jaeger, comes with Prometheus, and you'll actually be able to get information about the different pods doing the work. Yeah, time check? Guys, really? Anyway, so let us go ahead and add some telemetry to this. As you can see, Prometheus, we actually created now rules so we can actually talk to it. By default, you probably wouldn't want to have your data out on the internet so everyone can see what your application is doing. There are some demos that immediately do that for you, but you should do your homework and make sure you don't release your metrics to your competitors. That's probably a bad idea. So by default, everything, you have to tell Istio to allow it to the real world. And there we go. We're still on the same IP, which is what we were expecting. And then everybody threw some data at it because, you like playing with me, which is good. So one of the beautiful things about building in with Kubernetes is you can actually port forward from your remote machine to your local box, so you can actually see what's going on. I realize that there's a lot of gibberish up there, but the short of it is it uses port forward for Cuddle into the Istio system, and then pulls some JSON path, but the most important part is that app Jaeger, which is tracing, and you'll be able to see what's going on, and then does the port 16, that guy. So if I do that, you'll see that I'm doing it locally now, so I can go back over here and then do port, there we go. Don't make a liar out of me. Please don't make a liar out of me. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, imagine seeing Jaeger here for a moment, where you can actually do tracing for your application stack, where you can actually see what's going on, where errors might appear, why all of a sudden some microservice isn't being able to talk to some other microservice or some backend or remote machines for that matter. So there are ways to be able to manipulate calls outside of your Kubernetes cluster using Istio to be able to say, hey, let's pull some data from random API. Turns out that API is down. This is a way to actually see in a very visual way to be able to do it. I don't know why it's not showing, but that's fine. Let's continue forward. Okay. So Grafana is pretty. No? Yes, JJ? Okay, I like it too. Aha, I'm an idiot. Localhost. So here's Jaeger. And if you go ahead and click on this, and we are looking at the guestbook app, which is the thing that y'all threw some nice words up onto. As you can see, just a few seconds ago, somebody opened up the site, and there is the actual trace. I'm going to see something that's a little bit more exciting, and there isn't, which is disappointing. but you can drill down to get some really awesome information about it. You can go all the way down into what Istio sees about the different services. This is all built in, right? So when you install Istio, this comes for free, which is useful for telling your boss when shit hits the fan. And then it actually pulls, Istio actually uses the internal DNS for Kubernetes, so it'll only talk to the things it needs to talk to. All right. So if we go back to Grafana, everybody knows Grafana, and it's all pretty, right? Yes, JJ. Did I not get that right? 3,000? Why doesn't it like me? Why don't you like me? What? Okay. Well, Grafana has some really nice data. Obviously, it has nice, pretty graphs to be able to tell you what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and skip across to the service graph. This is another real cool tool that if you don't know what a, so the service mesh allows you to see what's going on, or allows you to have a layer of control of your Kubernetes pods, back to what I was saying earlier. This is actually a really nice way to visualize it. It'll actually bring up the service graph, and you have two different ways of doing it. You can manipulate, and there's also a .viz version of it. When you're doing your retrospectives, which you all are going to be doing, yes. Everyone does a retro, yes. Yes. You do retros? Of course you do. Yeah, of course, of course. This is actually really, I talked to a buddy of mine at a Rails shop who was moving to Kubernetes, and we're actually asking about this. And I was like, this is a really, really great way to actually just print it out and throw it up on the wall to be like, that's our bottleneck. And it's a great way to see it. So let's take a look at it now. Of course, 404 not found. So this is the actual, like, just, yeah, it's a nice little graph of what's actually happening. So imagine you have your microservices based application of a trillion different things. You have a million different people working on it. This is a way to actually visualize what the fuck is going on. And it's pretty much, it's not real time because obviously it's a static .viz, but it does tell you where it's actually going. So the version 1 here has 10 requests per second, right? And then version 2 is actually 5. You can manipulate when the traffic, sorry? Oh. So you can actually see what's going on. I also like this one where you can play with it. And you actually get real-time data. This actually gives you real-time data. Well, up to the, got to refresh it, but you can actually get down and see what's going on and pull out, like, this policy, what is it doing? What's connected to that? Which is nice, right? Like, again, this is free with Istio to actually see what's happening. Okay. You can read that at your leisure. I don't know why we still have this in our documentation. That seems really odd. So don't run that. So now that we've actually been able to see how to get our service, our pods talking to one another, and the way we've actually been able to see what goes on if shit hits the fan, one of the other major powerful portions of Istio is the actual ability to do traffic management. And this is where the nuts and bolts of Istio and the power of it really comes together. What's the time check? Nibs. Time?
It's 1:38.
Yeah, when did we finish? When is this over? I don't either. Can someone, yeah, sorry, I don't actually know. 12:30. Okay, so we got a little bit of time. Awesome. All right. So, of course, that didn't work. CDV1. Oh, Jesus. Workshop. Okay, give me 2 seconds in the wrong location. Yeah, you want to see?
That's
Yeah.
in the 101 there.
Oh, it is in the 101?
Yes.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
April, Istio 101. Thanks. Plans. Okay, so I am now forcing all of our communication with this plan here. What this does, this is now we're talking directly to Istio. As you can see, the spec of the hosts, which I was going back earlier about saying you could tell the difference of whatever user agent you like to use, all the way down to specific machines. I've seen demos where they've actually had specific users, or you have like a crazy hash that you send over with a curl or whatever, and it actually goes through your system, but only into a specific container. This one, everyone will only go to the guestbook subset of V1. So, assuming I'm not a liar, if we go back to our machine, we should only be going to V1 now. And I find out I have broken something. Why is this not working? There we go. So, as you can see at the very top there, we are now, if you go to the site also, if you refresh it, you should only see V1. Yay! So we can go back to our service graph, localhost, .viz. As you can see here, refreshing, we still have some going to V. Someone probably still has the connection still open, or they've just left it open. As you can see, there's still some traffic going to V2, but if they closed it, you would notice it'll eventually turn to 0. And all our traffic is going to V1, right? Isn't that cool? We've actually now doing true A/B testing. I could go out and turn V2 into V3, whatever, and I know my application is still up and running because V1 is still considered good. Yes? No? Cool. Yay? Yay. All right, let's have some, nice. Let's have some more fun. All right. Oops. Was I not supposed to do that? All right, here we go. This is one of those times that it finally started clicking with me too, was the user agent story, what I was mentioning earlier. So now I've replaced that virtual service again, and if I go back to this site, this is that Firefox I was talking about. As you can see there, it actually reads the user agent, does a regex against it to see if Firefox is there. So I have Firefox open right now. It should be, assuming I'm not a liar, it should be V2. And then I'll bring up Chrome, and hopefully nothing embarrassing will show up on my laptop, and we should see V1. So let's take a new window because I don't trust things. There we go, V2. It's taking a little bit longer than it should, but that's fine. And then I come over to Chrome, and as you can see, it's V1, right? That's pretty cool, yeah? So yeah, thanks. So it's actually using the user agent. Imagine the power that you have there. Like, it really is cool. And you have that allowed us to try. By the way, the reason why this is failing is because the Watson thing, I didn't turn that on. So hence the reason why it's angry. But, okay. I'm going to close Chrome. Close that out. Okay. So you can actually do canary deployments now, also with it. Going back to the same thing, which I just overwrote. As you can see, it actually has real waiting. So if you wanted to roll out a small little blue-green deployment of a new version and you're not too sure, you can actually give only 10% of your traffic to that new feature that you're not 100% sure is going to hit home, and be able to run that very, very confidently. Obviously, I'm not going to load that much traffic on this right now, but it does work. I will attempt to. So if somebody else could also refresh it too, that would be great. Well, that should have turned to V2, but you get the point, right? You can actually have waiting inside of your deployment scripts to go to specific things. It's really making a liar out of me, isn't it? As you can see here, the traffic is now split between V2 and V1. Okay. Using Citadel and be able to actually have the control of your own ability to say yes or no somebody should be able to talk into, you can have MTLS inside of your actual Istio, or inside of your actual Kubernetes cluster. So if you had some specific pods talking to some other specific pods, back to the gentleman's gone now, but back to the extended service mesh, you can actually control across that service mesh who should be talking to what, and actually have search back and forth. I'm not going to walk through this right now, mainly because I'm just going to make an ass of myself. But I know security is extremely important. I strongly suggest walking through this document at your own leisure, because security is tough, but we all need to do it. I just learned what a PEM was. No, I'm kidding. Just hoping somebody would giggle. Okay. Do not use this one. No. Do not use that one. Well, that's it.
Cool.
Does this work? So what we'll do now is we'll dispense with the lecture portion of this, and for those working through the exercises, we'll be around for the next hour or so, half hour, 45 minutes, something in that range, and then it'll be time for lunch. So if there are any questions about Istio or Kubernetes that are of interest to the wider group, we can answer them right now, but then we'll kind of break up.
Oh, no, there's one other thing.
There's one other thing.
So I have a feedback form. I realize that there's going to be a lot of feedback. I would like actual words on that so I can take it back to my powers that be. Give me a moment, I'll put it up here. So it'll be a nice small form to fill out. And thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? I don't see anything, but I can't really see anybody. All right. Oh, yeah, there we go.
So if you have an existing Kubernetes cluster running in production that's already got services and pods, you can't have downtime, how can you gradually deploy Istio into that cluster?
All right, so one of the open source contributors inside IBM named Lin Sun, who's around here today actually, has been working on something. The project is umbrella termed incremental deployment or incremental adoption of Istio. As you see, when you turn on auto injection especially, and with egress filtering, it can be disruptive to turn on Kubernetes. Honestly, Kubernetes is not super hard to set up. So for getting your, I would recommend at the first step, you spray it out in the lab or in some test cluster or something like that. And then there are people who are adopting just a piece of Kubernetes, right? They're adopting just the pilot and just a little bit of Envoy just to have tracing and metrics for their services and stuff like that. And they're not using the more advanced features like virtual service and routing rules and egress filtering. Does that answer your question? Cool. Anything else? All right, thanks everybody. Put your hands up if you're stuck in the tutorial. We'll come help you out. Thanks again.